it was, just got done talking to our kids, and the big thing that we've been trying to establish with our guys is that we've tried to simplify this game and really work on simple things in practice and try to carry them over to the game. And I'm really disappointed about some of the fundamental things that we did not do early in this game. We had a couple injuries and things that really affected us at tackle and our pass protection. But I'm really disappointed early. Clay started the game and just kind of predetermined some things. And he's a young guy. He did that a little bit last week. But that just really was, to start the game off that's tough to overcome. Defensively, we played in spurts. And one of the things that, we just haven't done very well at all is play together. To play together, offense, defense, special teams, and play off each other. And that's been tough to overcome. We didn't play very well on third down. We got to shore up our protection. We're going to have to really look at personnel and possibly moving some guys around to help us with some of the injuries that we've had. I thought Clay competed hard. He was in some tough situations, took some shots, and we can't continue to do that with him. We got to protect him and do a little bit better job of managing around him. So, really disappointed, especially in our first half of play. Was more encouraged by our effort the second half, but it was just a little bit too little, too late. And, we're going to have to really look hard at this film and try to make some corrections to give ourselves a competitive chance next week.
Jay, you talked last week about being prepared for the moment. Was there anything about the first half that surprised you in terms of what you saw from preparation this week in practice?
I felt like we had a pretty good week of practice. Obviously we wanted to, play really well in special teams. I was a little disappointed in some of our preparation in special teams, and that's more commitment and understanding, what it takes to prepare for a game. And we still have ways to go in that regard. I think that to start the game with the opening turnover was really disappointing. And then we didn't quite respond. I thought we could be a little bit more disruptive defensively, force some turnovers, and we wanted to make some strides in protecting the quarterback, and that didn't happen with some of the injuries we had at tackle. And so it is what it is. We gotta maybe make some adjustments up front, move some people around, get some more experienced guys out there on the edge to help shore that up. And we're going to have to look at our plan moving forward to help shore that up. But we made some progress in some areas, and some other areas we didn't.
Did you feel in that first half that, especially offensively, maybe there was some, that one play's frustration lead into another, some of that landslide effect?
Well, it's just frustrating because you have different players taking turns making mistakes, and that's just execution, and we had new players in there this week, especially at tackle, at both tackles, and so, you have new players that are in these situations for the first time, and they made errors in there. And I thought Clay battled back, and the third quarter we responded. We made some plays that we're capable of making. We had to adjust quite a bit at halftime, and so we'll do that. We've been through this before, but we got to see a better response collectively. We got a good response from some kids, but we got to get a better collective response. And as coaches, we got to find a way to pull a plan together for these kids and things that they can execute. And so that's what we'll really look hard at this week. You know, I'm not discouraged in the fact that I think we have a lot of guys that are capable of doing what we're asking them to do, but we just haven't seen enough of it, obviously, to this point. And, you know, we'll keep pushing till we get it.
How much of that first half was the hangover from the Michigan game?
I don't think there was any hangover at all. I think we were playing our second game. I think we were preparing for a team that got beat last week. They were hungry to win. You know, their coach has been there a long time. They have a lot of pride. And, you know, and every team that we play is going to have that. So we have to respond the same way. We have to respond with pride and playing a little bit harder. And we talked about that. You know, and I don't want to speak before I watched all the film, but we obviously didn't get enough of that from some kids. And so, you know, we'll identify that, take a look at it, and we'll address it.
You keep talking about response. What do you need to see starting tomorrow from your coaching staff when they come in, and then from the players?
I mean, we're going to see the same thing we see every day from our coaching staff. I mean, we got to get up in the morning with a sense of urgency and finding out how we can address this team differently to get what we need out of it. But I think really, you know, I told our kids, you know, we want to see guys win one-on-one battles. We wanted to simplify this game. We wanted to take the result out of their minds and just focus on winning the one-on-one battle, winning the block, defeating a block, making a tackle, covering one-on-one. And so we'll look at the film and we'll see that. You know, I told them that's how they were simply going to be evaluated. And so we'll look at that. You know, we've got to have more collective leadership in some certain areas. And we've got to have some position groups really pull their guys together and get a better response. And you know, we're going to have to fight, scratch, and claw on that offensive line to get better play, and that's just the truth. And so, you know, we got young guys out there fighting for their lives, and we got to do better. And so, we'll look at that. Some of the guys that are in there are young guys, and they got to grow up fast. And so we knew that going in. It's not a surprise. And so, you know, we'll just continue to press and work. And you know, we're 2 weeks into the season, but we've got to see more guys locking their jaws and buckling down and preparing better to play, and that's our job as coaches.
You've been refreshingly energetic in promoting this program and asking for support. What would you say to those students, fans, boosters about it now? Stick with you?
No, I mean, I've been disappointed too if I was in watching that football today. I mean, it was bad. In the first half, it was really bad. And so, I mean, I'm asking them to stay with us. We got a young football team. We got a lot of guys working really hard, and we're holding them to the fire to do things right. And I'm going to be honest with you, they're doing a lot of things differently than they've had to do in the past. And so that's the way that we're going to be. We're going to make them accountable to do things right on and off the field, and they're going to get better or they're not going to play. It's really that simple. And you know, guys gotta learn how to take care of take advantage of their opportunities. You know, one of the things I just told them, I said, you know, guys got to support each other. Guys got to help each other through adversity. We've given every one of these kids on the team more reps than they've ever had before we got here. We had split practices. Our 3s and 4s have had as many reps as our 1s and 2s. We've had a chance to see everybody practice, everybody play, see what they can do. And so there's no reason any player on this team shouldn't support their teammates and do everything they can to help win. And so if we're not getting that, then that's a problem. And so, you know, that's part of our responsibility as coaches is to make guys accountable to their teammates and do the things that we're asking them to do, and you know, we'll continue to work on it.
start the game without Brian Crespo at tackle and the Keys goes down early. What's their status and how much shuffling might that lead to?
Crespo, unfortunately, is going to be done for the season. He hurt his knee in practice. Dante Keys, he had a stretched medial collateral. We felt like he could maybe play. He tried to play, and he just couldn't play. And so, we lost both our starting tackles this week. And just really, the guys that we put in are just very inexperienced and had their hands full today. And so we got to find ways to help them. We may move somebody out from inside, outside. We'll look at that and come up with a plan. But it's tough to lose two guys at the same position in the same week. So, that's something that we have to overcome. I mean, injuries happen in football. We're not going to use those as an excuse. But the reality is we've got guys that come in have to do a good job, and they're responsible to their teammates. We tell guys every year, we got guys sitting in the 2s and 3 seats. At some point, they're going to be asked to play. And nobody's going to care if they're a backup. That's just the way this game is. And so they have to step up and be prepared to play and do a good job. And other teams are going through the same things we are. So it can't be an excuse, and we just we gotta tighten up as a team and help each other and overcome our shortcomings, and that's the game. And so we all knew this going into the season. We talked about it, and now all these things are starting to come up, and we're gonna have to deal with them. And that's the adversity part of playing and coming back after a tough loss. And so we talked about that in the locker room, and we're going to have to go back to work this week.
It seemed like Clay was getting especially frustrated when the sacks started to pile up. How much of that is good frustration that you've talked about, and how much of it is he needs to kind of calm down and kind of move to the next play?
Yeah, he's competitive, and I think when you're inexperienced, you kind of have an idea how things are going to go. And, if they don't go that way, sometimes you get frustrated. And so some of that happened with him. He puts a lot of pressure on himself. He wants to be right, and he wants to do a good job for his teammates. So, we'll kind of manage that frustration and channel it the right way. And, he's done a lot of good things. He's a competitive kid. I think he's got a bright future as a player here, and we got to do a little bit more to help him too, and that's important. We got to protect him better, and we may have to make some adjustments so we can do that, and we'll look at that and do the best we can with that, and we got to do a good job in other areas, running the football and taking pressure off of him. So it's not something he has to carry totally on his shoulders, and as a team, we gotta do a good job around him and step up and take a little bit of the pressure off of him. And so, but you've seen just in a couple weeks in spurts, he does a lot of things well, but football game is 4 quarters, and we collectively have to do a better job of playing with better efficiency through 4 quarters, and that's probably stating the obvious.
Jay, how do you go about, like for 10 minutes in the third quarter, you played complimentary football? Offense will score, defense get a turnover, get your ball back, things like that. How do you bottle that up and get that to be the case moving forward?
You just have to show the players what we're capable of when we play together, and it's a 4-quarter football game. There's a lot of plays in the game, and one of the things that we've talked about is that we have not done a good job of sustaining focus as a team at all. And so that's conditioning, that's taking care of yourself off the field, that's going to bed at night, that's eating good. There's a lot of factors that go into your conditioning and being able to sustain focus for 4 quarters. to play good football, you gotta stay dialed in for 4 hours, and we haven't been able to do that. And so, and that's part of what I said, a couple weeks ago. I mean, I don't know what we have until we start playing games, and we're starting to find out, that we have not had the consistency of focus that we need to have to play good, solid football. And so we have to demand that. There's a certain level of preparation that goes into playing that way, and and that's what we're learning to do. And we certainly aren't there yet. But we're gonna really put pressure on the guys to do that, and we'll find the ones that will. I think we had a lot of guys play hard and not quit today. But we really want to see who won their one-on-one battles and who's capable of doing what they're coached to do. And because moving forward, that's going to be critically important.
You talked about during the week about how pleased you were with the lack of penalties against Michigan today, kind of the reverse 4 on each side of the ball. How much did that kind of derail drives, whether it's offensively, and just kind of extend some of their drives?
Yeah, we could have got off the field a few times defensively without the penalties, and no, I was not pleased with that at all. So again, that's a lack of discipline, and making sure that you're staying focused in. So many times penalties come from being in bad body position, and so we'll have to look at that and see. I know. There, when we were in a little bit of a dogfight in the second half, we had an opportunity to get off the field, and we had a couple penalties. And so, that's just something that we have to show our guys. And particularly, there's a lot of pressure on our older players to play clean. And, when we have mistakes by our older players, it's very hurtful because we do have so many young guys right now. And so, we have to play better, and we have to be committed to being extremely focused for 4 quarters and playing clean, and so we'll keep pressing for that.
It's 4 touchdowns in 2 games for Torrey Horton. What is he doing out there that's allowing him to have so much success?
He's just competitive. He's a really good player, and I think he's a little frustrated because we really could get him the ball a lot more. And he's been running open, and we'll continue to get him touches, and he played very well today. I just looking at his stat line right now, and that's what he's capable of. I really think he's going to be one of the best receivers in this league, in our conference, and so we just need to play a little bit better around him and complement his game. And Torrey, Clay really has confidence in him, obviously, but we just have to play a little bit better complementary around him and give him more support.
I mean, you said yourself kind of too little too late in terms of the outcome, but just how valuable is it for Clay Millen to get a chance to work through those issues? I mean, going down 34-0, you're not protecting the QB, maybe could have pulled him, but instead you keep him in, he throws 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a competitive guy, and he's young. He needs to play. That's the only way he's going to learn how to play is to play, and he gives us the best chance to play. And again, he'll learn from some of the things that happened to him today. But I'm excited about him. He's a tough kid, and obviously we don't want him to get hit the way he did today. And we just got to do a better job of rectifying that and getting people around him that can help him more. But I do think we got some guys that can make some plays if we can give him time and allow him to see the coverage and get the ball to his receivers. We obviously got to make progress on that. And so got to tie it all together, get our defense, offense, and special teams playing as one. And that's the biggest challenge when you have a new team, is to get everybody to play together. And we knew that going in. We knew we had a lot of guys that haven't played together. And you know, and obviously we're seeing some of the growing pains of that, and we gotta keep pushing and working through it. And, you know, the good thing is that we've been through it before, and, we just have to stay with it. You know, I think we'll be better for it if our kids stay together and don't start pointing fingers at each other.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.